Here I come, world. Here I come.
With a hand in his face, in the end, Brandon. Then came those unforgettable words. Anything is possible.
I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
If you're a basketball fan, you've heard the phrase countless times. But when Kevin Garnett screamed it into the mic after finally winning his first and only NBA championship in 2008, it wasn't just a celebration. It was a release. A declaration forged from years of struggle, sacrifice, and unrelenting intensity. This is the story of Kevin Garnett, a pioneer, a warrior, a trailblazer, and one of the NBA's most ferocious competitors. Humble beginnings. From Greenville to greatness, Kevin Maurice Garnett was born on May 19, 1976, in Greenville, South Carolina. Raised by his mother, Shirley, he grew up in a household rooted in discipline and quiet resilience. His father left early in Kevin's life, and his mother, working multiple jobs, shouldered the burden alone. Kevin's relationship with his mother defined him. In interviews, he would later say there were only two things he feared growing up: God and his mom. When he discovered basketball in middle school, he didn't dare tell her. She was focused on academics. She didn't want distractions. So when he made the Maldine High basketball team as a freshman, he didn't ask for permission. He forged it. His friend signed the permission slip so he could play without her knowledge. That secret didn't last long. One day, Shirley walked into the gym unannounced and caught her son mid-practice. "Your ass is mine when we get home." She wasn't angry because he was playing. She was angry he had lied. But after that day, she became his biggest fan and fiercest supporter. And that young boy, barely scratching 6 feet tall at the time, began his journey towards something bigger. South Carolina star, Chicago Reinvention. By his junior year, Garnett was already a basketball prodigy. Standing nearly 6 feet 11 inches, he had the coordination of a guard and the intensity of a pit bull. He averaged 28.5 points and 18.5 rebounds per game. College offers started pouring in. The future was bright. But in 1994, everything changed. On the last day of school, a fight broke out involving several students. Kevin wasn't fighting. He insisted he was just trying to break it up. But he was arrested and charged with second-degree lynching, a serious felony under South Carolina law. He faced up to 20 years in prison. Just like that, his future was on the brink. Thanks to a pre-trial intervention program and his clean record, the charges were eventually dropped. But Garnett and his family knew he needed a clean slate. That summer, they packed up and moved to Chicago, where Kevin enrolled at Farragut Academy. And that's where the myth of Kevin Garnett really began. The best prospect in America. At Farragut, Garnett was unstoppable. He averaged 25 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 blocks per game. Numbers that sound made up, even by high school standards. He led his team to a 28-2 record and was named Mr. Basketball in Illinois, USA Today National Player of the Year, and McDonald's All-American MVP. He played alongside future NBA point guard Ronnie Fields and lit up the gym every night. It wasn't just the stats, it was the energy, the fire, the trash talk, the ability to guard 5 positions, block shots, run the floor, and pass like a point guard. By the time the season ended, scouts were asking a new question. Why go to college at all? Straight to the league. At the time, the NBA hadn't seen a player come straight from high school in 2 decades. The last had been Darryl Dawkins in 1975. But Garnett wasn't academically eligible for college. He had taken the ACT multiple times and couldn't reach the NCAA's minimum score. That left one option, the NBA draft. Many doubted he could make the leap. He was just 18. Could he handle the pressure, the physicality, the lifestyle? Then came a private workout in front of over a dozen NBA scouts. Garnett dominated the scrimmages. Coaches were shocked by his versatility and poise. He didn't just look ready, He looked like the future. In the 1995 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves selected Kevin Garnett 5th overall. He became the first high schooler drafted in 20 years. Minnesota, the big ticket arrives. At the time, the Timberwolves were a mess. They had never made the playoffs. They were irrelevant. But Garnett brought something different: fire, intensity, purpose. In his rookie season, he came off the bench, but still showed flashes of brilliance. Midway through the year, GM Kevin McHale replaced the coach with Flip Saunders, who immediately moved Garnett into the starting lineup. In year 2, Garnett broke out. He averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. He made the All-Star team and, more importantly, led Minnesota to its first ever playoff appearance. He was still a teenager. That summer, Garnett signed a 6-year, $126 million extension, the richest deal in NBA history at the time. It sparked massive controversy and even contributed to the 1999 lockout. But Minnesota didn't care. They knew they had found their franchise cornerstone. Triumph and tragedy. The Wolves built around Garnett, adding his close friend, Stephon Marbury, through a draft day trade. The two were electric, a high-flying duo with highlight after highlight. But egos clashed. Contracts became a problem. Marbury wanted more, and the Timberwolves weren't willing to pay. In 1999, Marbury was traded. It was the beginning of a troubling trend. Then, in 2000, tragedy struck. Malik Sealy, Garnett's best friend and teammate, died in a car crash on his way home from Garnett's birthday party. Garnett was shattered. He wore Malik's name on his sneakers and tattooed it on his arm. He never truly recovered from that loss. 2004, the MVP season. Despite the setbacks, Garnett kept grinding. Every year he led Minnesota to the playoffs, and every year they lost in the first round. Then came 2004, KG's magnum opus. He averaged 24.2 points, a league-best 13.9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks per game. He won NBA MVP and led the Wolves to a 58-24 record, best in the West. In the playoffs, Garnett finally got over the hump. He led Minnesota past the Kings in a Game 7 masterpiece. 32 points, 21 rebounds, 5 blocks. But the dream ended in the Western Conference Finals. Injuries and the sheer force of the Shaq-Kobe Lakers proved too much. It was the closest Garnett would get to the finals in Minnesota. The collapse of a franchise. After 2004, the Timberwolves fell apart. They traded away key players. They failed to draft well. And they were penalized for a secret under-the-table deal with Joe Smith, losing 5 straight first-round picks. It destroyed their ability to build a team around Garnett. From 2005 to 2007, Minnesota missed the playoffs entirely. Finally, after 12 loyal years, Garnett agreed to a trade. He was headed to Boston. The final chapter, the Celtics stayed competitive. In 2010, they reached the finals again, but lost to the Lakers in Game 7. By 2012, the core was aging. Ray Allen left for Miami. Injuries mounted. In 2013, Garnett and Pierce were traded to the Brooklyn Nets. One last attempt at contention. It didn't work. Garnett's minutes dropped, his impact faded. In 2015, he returned to Minnesota, ending his career where it started. He retired in 2016, after 21 seasons, 15 All-Star appearances, an MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and 1 unforgettable championship. The legacy of the big ticket. Kevin Garnett's impact goes far beyond stats. He changed the culture of the NBA. He redefined what it meant to be a power forward, combining size, agility, and perimeter skill in ways that paved the road for players like Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jaren Jackson Jr. He brought fire and emotion to the court like few ever have. He talked trash, played through pain, and gave everything to every team he played for. He was also the first modern high school to NBA success story, opening the door for the generation that followed. Off the court, his energy translated into television work, media appearances, and even acting roles, including his praised performance in Uncut Gems. In 2020, he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, a fitting final chapter for one of the most passionate and iconic players of all time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through Kevin Garnett's career, be sure to check out our other basketball documentaries and deep dives. We've covered legends, forgotten stories, and pivotal NBA moments you won't want to miss. Subscribe and explore the channel. You'll love what we have waiting for you.